Okay, so this is Chapter 1, Section 9. We're almost done with Chapter 1. And this section is really just going over things that you've seen before. It's a nice, easy review section. Our first thing that we're looking at is the distance formula. And this is a formula that you guys have seen before. So if you're given 2 points and you're trying to find the distance between them, that's the formula that we're going to use. So going over a quick example here, we have our x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're just plugging into the distance formula here. So x2 minus x1, so here that would be 3 minus negative 1 squared, plus y2 minus y1, so that's negative 2 minus 4 squared. And then it's just a matter of simplifying for us. So 3 plus 1 is 4, squared is 16. And then we have negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 squared is 36. So we have the square root of 16 plus 36 is 52. And 52 is the same thing as 4 times 13. So we can simplify a little bit further and we would have 2 square root 13. And we're going to put units on there because we're talking about a distance. Midpoint formula, if I'm given 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and I want to find the point that's exactly in the middle of those two, this is the midpoint formula which we can use. We're going to go ahead and do a quick example. So we have our x1, y1, x2, y2, and plugging into the midpoint formula, both over 2, so let's just put that there. And then x1 plus x2, so 1 plus negative 8. And then y1 plus y2, so negative 6 plus negative 4. And so we have 1 and negative 8 is negative 7 over 2. And negative 6 and negative 4 is negative 10. Divided by 2 is negative 5. And that would be our midpoint. Okay. Now we have the formula for the standard form of the equation of a circle. And we have our h and our k. And that's going to be our center. And then r is our radius. Okay. So we have an example here. It says write the standard form of the equation of a circle with hk, our center, 0, negative 6, and a radius of 10. So really all we're doing is plugging in here. We have x minus 0 squared plus y minus negative 6 squared equals 10 squared. And we can simplify this part right here and just write x squared plus negative times a negative is a positive squared equals 100. Okay. Next question says, given the equation here, find the center, the radius, the domain, and the range. So our center is just our hk, and remember in the general form we have minus sign here. So this would be negative 3 and then 1. Our radius is the square root of this number, so 2. And then our domain and our range. Okay. Well, we want to kind of think about what that's going to be, and in order to really picture it, I'm going to draw a picture for us. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, and 1. That gives us our center. Our radius is going out 2 in every direction, so I'm going to zoom in on this picture for us. We've got up 1, 2, and over 1, 2, and down 1, 2, and then over 1, 2. And this is our circle. Now our x values go from negative 5 to negative 1. So our domain, including negative 5 and including negative 1, negative 5 to negative 1. And then our range goes from negative 1 to 3. So negative 1 to 3. And again, it includes those points. So there's our domain and our range, negative 5 to 1 and negative 1 to 3. Now we can move on and take a look at the general form for the equation of a circle. And this is not quite as useful for us. We can't see the radius necessarily. We can't see the center. And so sometimes we're given our equation in standard form, in general form, and we want to write it into standard form. Okay. So we're going to be using the process of completing the square, and we're going to complete the square twice. So I'm going to keep things organized here, color coding things for us. And we have x squared, and then I'm going to group the x's together, plus 4x plus something, whatever we do to complete the square. And then we have plus y squared minus 6y plus something in order to complete the square. And adding 1 over to the other side is equal to 1. And then whatever I add to one side, I have to add to the other. Now completing the square here, remember you take your b value divided by 2 and squaring it. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, squared is 4. And then here, we're going to take our b value divided by 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. And now we can simplify. So this is equal to 1 plus 4 plus 9 is 14. And now I want to factor both of these. Now, when we rewrite these as perfect squares, it's going to be y, whatever sign is here, minus, and then b divided by 2. And here, for x, we have x, whatever sign is here, and b divided by 2. And now it's written in standard form like we wanted. And that's our very short section 9. That's the end of it right there. If you had questions, please make sure that you ask them in class.